Welcome to another conversation between myself, Dr. Akhu, and Dr. Maat. In this recording, we continue with our discussion of meditation with our children.
So let's talk about meditation practices in particular, specific with our kids and some of the things that we do and general suggestions that we have. So we were talking particularly about the nighttime ritual of meditation. And perhaps as time goes on, we can talk about maybe the other ways, but we could today talk about the nighttime ritual in particular, because I think it is nuanced, right? So, and both of us also have younger children, so 7 and 10 years old.
Exactly.
Yes. So I was saying that both of us have younger children, 7 and 10 years old.
Yes.
And so some of what we might do with the young child this age would be possibly different than a teenager who might not want you in their room sitting with them at night before bedtime. However, you might be surprised at how much a teenager would appreciate some quality time with their parents, and especially if they can help to set the agenda for that time. Okay. Or if they've developed and cultivated a meditative, lifestyle, and certainly, there's the potential for them to appreciate that. Mm-hmm. So, how do we meditate with our children?
Well, one of the things that I've done with Kayla and that I've introduced to some of the people I've worked with individually is introducing them to the breath and helping them understand the importance of the breath as it relates to achieving that calm state. And one way of doing that with especially a young child is by laying down with them and then putting something small on your tummy and on their tummy and just getting them to focus on watching it go up and down. Right? And that's a good place to start, with just focusing on the breath, just watching the rise and fall of the object that's on their tummy. And that by itself is a wonderful exercise and a wonderful place to start in the journey of meditation.
Yeah, so we practice that same activity or that same exercise, and it goes over very well because he usually likes to pick which toy or object, so that makes it a little fun as a way to start or to engage. Traditionally, when we practice meditation where you're focusing on breathing and the breath, you can place your hand on the abdomen, which is another way you can do it with your child, is to have them lay flat and they can place their hand on the abdomen, or they could sit up straight. And sometimes when we do meditation before bed, we will sit up and do the practice on the bed instead of laying down, so as to get the meditation practice in before he's actually turning down to sleep. So when we're sitting up, I might have him place his hand on his abdomen and just usually start off with 3 deep breaths, breathing in through his nose and exhaling out. And sometimes we'll do the exhale through the mouth, and we'll do it with a little bit of sound. So just by way of example, breathe in and out. And I'll have him make the sound as a way, again, to sort of engage more of the senses, as a way of helping him also sort of release some of the energy in somewhat of an exaggerated way, because sometimes for kids, it can be hard to kind of know the breath and manage the breath. So the, helps to get their body more engaged in that practice. And so we'll start with those 3 breaths and then just sit paying attention to the rise and the fall of the abdomen.
Excellent. A great way to start. Beginning of a journey of lifelong meditation practices.
Yes. So shall we say maybe one more?
Have you yet introduced your son to any visualization? I recently have had my daughter imagining, as part of her practice, imagining a safe place, imagining being in a beautiful place, and allowing her to come up with that on her own as she's meditating, and then afterwards talking about what her safe place was and what it looked like, and allowing her imagination to run and enjoying as she's sharing with me afterwards what that was like for her, and what place she imagined.
So that's a great activity and exercise that can then later be transferred for children in moments of stress, right?
Exactly.
When you have a positive image or a safe place to go, when you're in a situation that's stressful or distressful, you can reflect on, your safe place and visualize it and think about it to help reduce the tension that might be coming from the present moment stress. To answer your question, we do some visualization, and as I've talked about before, so I practice predominantly Kemetic yoga practices and meditation approaches, and they involve using different meditation traditions that come from ancient Egypt. And so one of them is called the Glorious Light Meditation. And Glorious Light Meditation is it is the oldest codified meditation system that can be found in ancient hieroglyphic texts. And this practice involves a combination of sitting in a posture, visualizing yourself sitting inside of a circle, and there being a dot in the center of the circle, and you are sitting on the dot in the center of the circle. And during that visualization, you see yourself sitting in this circle surrounded by beautiful golden light, and then you begin the breathing and the hekau, or mantra, as you visualize yourself sitting, solid and firm in the center of the circle.
Beautiful. Mm-hmm. There are many ways.
Right. And I think it's important we've stressed this here before, we support and advocate parents finding the practices and the things that work for them. We have and found and use practices that work for us, which we, have lots of respect for and know that they work, and they certainly have been either practiced within our spiritual traditions, or can be identified in parallel to Western psychological meditative practices that are known and have been shown to work. So it's important to find your way, find your path, but above all, to start.
Above all, to start, right? Every journey begins with one step.
Yep. Peace.
For more information about us and what we do, please visit drakhu.com, DRAKHU.com, and the Center for Spirit.com, Center, the number 4, Spirit.com.